we will take the next 40 minutes to give you the experiences and the advice of 6 inspiring impact investors from Greece who have dealt with the Southeast Europe region and will give you some insights, what their experiences and what they wish to advise to founders who wish to either launch or scale up in this region. So can I please invite the 6 panelists? Please, can you join us? Eleanor, welcome. The panelists will introduce themselves, so I won't spend any more time to introduce them, but I wanted to tell you that I'm very proud of these 6 individuals sitting on this stage today. You may have noticed those who were in the previous panel witnessed a panel of all males. We have made a point of having a good mix here to give you their different points of view and their experiences. So I welcome the panel, and I want to ask them a number of questions, but I would like to begin with Eleanor. No, but I would like to ask one question will be answered by all, and then I will address different questions to different people on the panel. So the very first question for which I would like an answer from all of you is, what is it about Southeast Europe? Why are we here to tell the founders the unique opportunity of either launching or scaling up in Southeast Europe? And I can sit now. Eleanor, can you please also tell us a few words about yourself before you give us the answer?
Perfect. Thank you again for having me. So my name is Eleanor Cotterell. I'm actually French by birth, but by way of America. I've traveled all around the world, and I found myself in Greece 5 years ago. And I absolutely love the region. What we have started 3 years ago is Investing for Purpose. We are a seed fund investing in positive impact companies that have an environmental, social, or educational impact. So we look to do an initial ticket of 300 to 500,000 and then a follow-on of about $1 million. We've done 10 investments so far, and all primarily Greek or Greek founders abroad, and like to expand within the Southeast region. What I have seen, to answer the question, is that the area really has grit. I said it yesterday on the panel, a huge amount of resilience, a huge amount of knowledge, especially as we had mentioned, around engineering, around technical backgrounds. The universities in the region are very, very high quality, and I see that the entrepreneurship here, they don't give up. They're optimists. They try hard, they believe that they have a solution, and they really want to bring change. So I specifically see a lot in impact, where they have climate, environment, society, and educational impact. But throughout all of it, I really see this desire to bring change and to expand.
Thank you, Leonor. Can I ask Spyros?
Yes, sure.
Wearing a different hat, Spyros, so you can tell us your point of view from the bank.
Well, as National Bank of Greece, we used to be present in all the Balkans, but also the Southeast. We had subsidiaries in Egypt, in Turkey. We used to own the 3rd biggest bank of Turkey, Finance Bank, and of course the whole region. So for us, it was always very important to collaborate with all these countries of Southeast Europe and to operate in all these countries. We saw a huge opportunity, economic opportunity and development opportunity in this collaboration, and that's what we also try to do through the investments in innovation. As I said, we have invested in 30 startups. Some of them are from Cyprus. And we have invested in 12 VCs. You have some of them here, and in 14 private equity. So we truly believe of the potential of the region, and we support the evolution of the whole ecosystem with our capital.
For those who don't know Spyros, he is the head of the Innovation Entrepreneurship Unit at the National Bank of Greece, but he's also leading a very, very established and successful business seeds program, it's called, which is supporting startups in Greece, and now expanding to Cyprus as well. Melina. Melina is from Cyprus, but living in Athens. Tell us more about you, Melina, and the answer to the question. Why SEE?
Hi everyone, my name is Melina. I'm an investment manager at Big Pie Ventures, and Big Pie was one of the first venture capital funds that started back in 2018 in Athens in Greece. Our first fund was 47 million euros, that's fully invested, and right now we are investing out of our second fund. This fund is 70 million euros, and we invest in seed and pre-seed companies between 500K and 3 million euros. We're a generalist fund, but we love good technology. So we invest in areas like AI, data, robotics, health tech, and climate tech. And to answer Maria's question, I think we are betting big in Greece and the whole Southeastern Europe region because of the very and great talent that the region has. I think in Greece we have great technical talent and also great talent in the medical fields. So we have great people that can create startups in the fraction of the cost than they can create in the US or in the UK. And we empower them to build tech teams in Greece. So we truly believe in the future of the region.
Thank you, Melina. Giorgo?
Hi.
This?
Yes. I am a partner in Metavalon. We are a team that we started managing venture capital funds back in 2018. We have more or less 80 million under management. Right now we are investing out of our second fund, and we plan to launch our third fund very soon. We are generalists, so we don't have a sectoral focus, and to invest at the pre-seed and seed stages. So far, we have done 35 investments. We have 3 exits, 3 money backs, and a number of non-successful investments, of course, as it happens in our stage. And we continue. When it comes to your question, I agree. First of all, we are in some of the most beautiful parts of Europe, Southeastern Europe, the coast, the Mediterranean coast is very beautiful. It's a nice place for someone to live. Greece has made a lot of progress in terms of digitization, improvement of the financial environment and the business environment the last years. The tech talent is there, and there is availability of capital. The Greek government fund of funds has under management like 2 billion euros, and every now and so new funds come out with and to start the ecosystem starts to develop. So we have more focused funds in terms of stages, in terms of investment thesis. So things are getting more complete. And also what we are trying to do is to develop and to cultivate a very good network with the big investors from Central and Western Europe, so that we support the growth journey of our startups. So this is what we try to do, and also to create the good examples so that the new entrepreneurs are inspired to really create big and successful companies.
So there is talent as well as funding.
talent, funding, and we are trying to facilitate the growth and to make easier the growth path of our successful startups.
Thank you, George. Dora?
Great, thank you, Maria, for the question. So, just to briefly introduce myself, I'm Dora, I'm partner at Unifund. Very similar to what Metavallon does. We started in 2018 with our first fund in Greece, mainly investing in deep tech companies in the pre-seed and seed stage. Now we're actively investing out of our second fund, which is again a deep tech fund aiming at investing in seed, let's say, stage companies in Greece and Europe. So now we are investing pan-European wise. We've completed more than 35 investments so far with, out of both funds. And why SE? So just to sum it up, I think that SE has plenty of talent so far. We have serial founders, people that have built their businesses or have contributed to building businesses abroad. And many of them are moving back to SE, like Greece, like Bulgaria, like Cyprus, so people that are coming from abroad and moving back to rebuild startups. Of course, there's plenty of capital. The weather and the place to live, SE is a very nice place to live, and it's in the intersection between Europe, Asia, Africa, and a place where you can be based at and be able to travel worldwide. So I can say a bunch of extra reasons, but I think these are enough.
That's enough. Okay. So, Thomas.
Hello. Thank you all. Thank you, Maria. So I'm Thomas. My fund is Elstone Capital. Similar to what George and Dora mentioned, we are one of the newest funds. We started investing at the end of 2022, beginning of 2023. We're generalists. I would say we invest in seed plus companies. We look for ambitious founders that we can actually help them internationalize their businesses, i.e. not just generate like just local champions, create businesses that can be not necessarily the number one player, but a very good player, a little player abroad as well. And I would reverse the question because, everybody covered really well, why SAE? What I would say is, why not? Why should we be jealous of like something that's happening in the US or in the UK or in generally Western Europe? We have everything, and I came back to Greece after 17 years where I was in the UK in London, and I would say that it has been, it is not anymore, an untapped market. How we saw the established, let's say, VC scenes or the established economies, established business environments, ecosystems, where they are now, well, they started from somewhere. This is where we are. So let's all help build this up.
But from the whole region, which are the key markets, do you think, in the SEE region?
Yeah, good point. Well, obviously, we come from Greece, so Greece is a key market for us. And for some of us, like us, where our anchor investor is also HDBI, we get access to Greek fund of funds. We need to have companies with Greek substance. But it depends on what you do. You see, tech. Israel, for example, is a key market when you have tech. And then areas like Bulgaria, Romania, you see there is a lot of activity there, a lot of funds, and a growing market. So Turkey is growing as well. So it depends on what you do.
Okay, so I come from the scientific world, and my experience is mostly with scientific, innovative startups from Cyprus. And I must say, the last 7 years I've been dealing with this effort. I haven't heard any of the startups from the academia looking to launch or scale in the Southeast. Of course, the majority is biotech, but most of them are looking to scale up in the US. And therefore, and then there is a few other scientific ventures from here at least, in the environment, in the agri-tech, in the robotics. But still, I haven't heard anybody say, I wish to expand in the SEE. Maybe MENA region is becoming very popular these days. The US, as I said. But so I wanted to hear from you. what is it? What are the sectors in the SE region which are strong, and to advise the founders, if there is market and funding for biotech, they should be looking at this region. Who wants to answer the question? Thomas, you lost your turn.
I can.
Let's go.
I can try. We have some very awesome exceptions on what you say. Last year, Beta Cae was acquired for $1.4 billion from a US company. Do you remember the name? Well, this was a huge surprise for all of us. This was a deep tech company. What they do simulations for motors, for aerospace, space, and Formula One, and so on. It was a bootstrapping company, by meaning they didn't have investors, and this was a big success. Deep tech, people coming from the University of Thessaloniki, and they managed in 12 years to create a unicorn. We have another case in Athens from the Athena Research Center. It's Synoetics. It was acquired by Samsung. This was also one of the first acquisitions made in Greece, and it was a real research exit.
Thank you. Dora, you wanted to say something on this question?
What I'm personally dreaming of is, okay, we have these examples, but I want to say one day that there are many, let's say, startups that are built in SCE and are building category-defining global platforms without ever moving to San Francisco or the US. And this will happen one day, but I mean, the sooner the better for us.
So it could be a bridge to the US. Yep. Everybody wants to answer this question. Yorgos? Yorgos, Melina, and Eleanor?
Yes. What you described, I mean, it's normal. Greece is a small country, and the European market is fragmented. And in Southeastern Europe, we mostly have small markets, small countries. So it is normal to build the company here, to test the product and the service here, and then to go to a bigger market. And then this is the problem of Europe, especially when it comes to biotech, to drugs. The regulatory framework is slow. Nowadays, it takes more time if you want to get approval for a new drug in Europe than it takes in the US. US is faster now, and you unlock a huge market with one approval. In Europe, especially if you want to get reimbursement, you have to go country by country, a very slow and difficult process. So start from here, prove the value, run part of your clinical trials here if you can, and then head to a big market. This is the normal trajectory.
Thank you, George. Anybody else would like to answer this question, or we move on to a next one? Yeah? Yeah, is that all right? Because I'm looking at the time. So the next, and there's a few questions from the audience. Yeah. So just a couple of more questions from me, and then we answer the questions. Yeah. So the next question is, how do you source your customers, your startups? Do they come to you? Do you look for them? And if you do look for them, how do you look for them? Eleanor?
Sure. So we work a lot with partnerships. So we work with incubators, accelerators. So we also work with venture studios, other impact VC funds called United for Impact. We do a lot through database research. We have one in Greece, which is very easy to be able to see that. We go to conferences where we're networking. But we also do a lot of sector research. So different sectors will do a lot of vertical research. We'll be able to see who are the bigger players in each of these, and then we'll approach. And as we've been expanding, we have, of course, gotten reverse inquiries as well. But I think that it's really important, and I'm going to answer somewhat this question with what's answering. Someone else is asking, sorry, is really to look at the product market fit. I think this is something that's really important to be able to see, and I think that right now we're looking at Southeast Europe currently, and I think that this is something that we have to take into consideration about currently the fit, and then looking to have that expand elsewhere.
Thank you, Leonor. Melina, would you like to answer this?
Sure. So I think for us, the main goal is to know every Greek founder or Cypriot founder wherever they are in the world. So we are working towards that goal with data-driven approaches and scouting the internet, the LinkedIn, etc. So this is our main source of founders and companies. Then we have like the founders that come through our network, so other VCs in the either abroad, either in Greece, or accelerators. And then we also have the companies that directly come to us through our website, through events, yeah.
And I think, Thomas, you wanted to say something on this point?
I think it's covered.
It's been answered.
Yeah, we can ask, yeah.
Okay, so if we reverse the question, what advice would you give to the startups on how to look for VCs?
Well, the question is, at what stage do we look for VCs?
And how to select which VC is the right one for them?
Well,
let's take the case of somebody who is launching at the early stage.
So maybe the VC is not the right choice for him at that stage, you know.
I like this answer.
So no, it depends on what you do. When you start, you know, you may need to get money from, you know, like angels, friends and family, or you may need to start like applying to incubators or accelerators, like the NBG Business Seeds, and take it from there, because you might not be ready to go to a VC yet. Like, for example, for what we invest, someone who is just launching a business, well, he's not ready for us, because we need him to have some traction revenue. So I would say this is the first step: identify what are your needs, what are the steps. Second, I mean, you need to make your own research. You need to see, like, there's like tons of VCs out there. You need to see who fits you and what does that mean. You look at their portfolio, you look at the sizes, the sectors they look at, you look at the background of the partners, and you try to meet them. You send them an email, you know, you meet them at events, and you see who you match with. You know, sometimes, you know, personal relationships will not work, and this is really important. And you take it from there.
So if you receive an email from a VC, from a startup, would you consider that a positive move on his behalf?
Absolutely.
Or her behalf?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't have to be like, you know, one line, or it doesn't have to have like, I don't know, a 50-page document. A small line, you know, hi, I met you there, I saw this, I am interested, you know, in this business that you have in your portfolio, I have something similar, I think I can add value X, Y, Z, let's catch up, and then I can say, yes, let's catch up, or maybe what you are doing is not one for us, maybe look at some other funds, or, you know, let's speak at a few months' time.
And at Spyros, can I ask you, you run this very successful accelerator is it an accelerator program, Business Seeds?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit?
Yes.
And tell us how one finds out about this program?
I always suggest when a startup is in the very early stage and they are on the phase of MVP, to try to submit their idea in small competitions. If you submit your idea in 5 competitions and you don't win them, you have to ask yourself why. If you start winning the competitions, then you will have some money from the grants, services, legal services and other, and also exposure. So this is the start. And then you can move to other accelerators or other bigger programs. And then you can And just to say one important thing, the funds always have a look on the competitions.
All right. So this business seeds program by the National Bank of Greece
Yes.
is considered to be some sort of a competition, like the one you
It's an
mentioned earlier?
accelerator. We have all the funds helping us with the boot camps and the workshops and all this. But this is a high-end acceleration program. You have to start with smaller programs than ours.
If startups win competitions, small tickets of whatever, grants,
That's a proof that they...
that's a good sign for a
Yes,
VC.
of course.
Okay, so we've got 5 minutes. Shall we answer the questions?
Can I make 3 very quick comments?
Of course.
I agree with what Thomas said. In my opinion, first, it is important to get the real attention of a VC. It is true, we see so many cases, some of them do not go at the right level. So take the opportunity to meet the people, go to the events, talk to people, use your network, make sure that your application, let's say your pitch deck, arrives at the right hands. A lot of them are killed at the first filtering because this is our life, we cannot do differently. Then, when you have run the filtering and you have identified, let's say, 50 relevant VCs, and you start talking to them, pay attention. Sometimes you talk to people, they ask questions, and you say, you believe this is silly questions. After a while, you understand why these people ask these questions. But it is one-time opportunity to really listen to the questions and prepare, use them to prepare better for the for the next meeting. This is important. It's an opportunity. Take this opportunity. Listen and prepare notes and additional slides so that you are well prepared for the next meeting. And then go to the website of the fund, find the companies, and connect with the founders they are supporting and talk to them. This is the best way. We have seen that the most successful founders, they have done this homework before they come to us. And this is the way that they select.
So do your homework before you go to CVC. And if we were to answer, we have 4 questions. So the idea is great. The team is perfect. There is a gap. There is a gap, and the startup is filling up that gap. What is the next important aspect?
Yeah, it's very easy. You get into a prototype or something that is working. So you get into a product and you go test the market.
Okay. Anybody else?
No, it's execution.
Exactly. Okay.
So execution, yeah. So and
Money is missing from the recipe over there.
money is missing. Money is important also. Why are we focused on expanding west into the US instead of wealthy Arab countries that are geographically closer? I like this question. I think there is
Everyone's looking at me, so I'm
a
going to
very good
answer that
answer
one.
to this question. Because
No. Look, I would agree. And funny enough, I lived in the States for 16 years. And I don't necessarily think that the US, even though this is kind of every entrepreneur's dream is to go to the US, I do think that right now Europe has an opportunity, especially with Trump in power, that this is the opportunity to actually consolidate the fragmented market and to be able to then grow into the rest of the world. I don't think that necessarily the US is always the best market fit. I think what the US has and Europe needs to have is more risk capital. So right now we're very lucky that we have a government and a lot of banks, et cetera, supporting the early stage. But what we're missing is growth stage funding, and also more risk capital to be able to help support more and more entrepreneurs, to be able to grow, to be able to see this market fit, to be able to go into execution, and to then grow. So what would be great is if the Arab world comes to Europe to be able to help fund and to put risk capital for us to then go to that area.
Can I add something on
Very
that?
controversial.
So on this point exactly, like US versus Arab countries. I mean, US, why? Country, second, like you have a B2B business, you know, many more customers, many more corporates in the US where you can sell, you know, but it's a natural step. But it doesn't mean that UAE and all the Arab countries, it's not good, it's not a good option. I mean, for us, when you have businesses that have access to the Arab countries, that's a big plus for us, even better than the US, because for a business to go to the US, it has to be properly established. Otherwise, it's going to be costly, risky, and you only have one chance. You have to use your, silver bullet. If you don't do it well, you will never do it.
And from my limited experience, the most common model to enter the Arab countries is by a joint venture. You cannot simply go there and establish a subsidiary and start selling. You need to find a local partner, give up to 50% to the local partner, and this is maybe good, but this is an additional risk. If you don't find the right partner, you may end up losing money and wasting your time.
Very true, very true.
Can we answer the last question? 1 minute, please. We skip the third one.
30 seconds.
Yeah, what is the most contributing factor that makes a startup investable? I think it's a very key question.
Execution.
Execution, traction, no?
And
Depends on the stage. I mean, execution is real, but if it is too early, it's people. It's the team, the experience of the team.
If it's too early, it's the team. Yeah?
the passion of the founders, how much they
The
want
resilience.
The passion of the founders, again, back to
Yeah.
the team.
The resilience of the team, and to be able to understand when they need to pivot, when they need to get traction in something else. So resilience, grit, etc.
But you also
Melina?
need to be pragmatic and addressing a real problem and a real market. A great team that addresses no real problem won't go anywhere.
Thomas, you finish it.
Irrespective of stage, only one answer to that, people.
People. So, thank you very much. I think we all got the message. It's that team who has the passion and the resilience and the dedication and the hard work nature to finish the job and be attractive to a VC fund. Yeah? Thank you all. Thank you for listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Markidou Georgiadou.